Alright guys, how's it going? It's that time again, it's the weekend, yes. Now I don't actually know why I call this Let's Talk, because it's not really you talking, it's more me talking shit for 6 minutes. So, let's comment maybe, put some comments down below, I don't know. But anyway, I made a video last week, and it was called Working for Free. Now, I immediately deleted the video the morning after. And the reason I actually deleted it, well, there's a few reasons to be honest, but the main one was I was kind of drunk when I recorded it, even though I was not well. And when I'm drunk and I'm just an arsehole really, to be honest, and I go full Scottish, and there was too much swearing, to be honest, far too much swearing. I think I got a comment from one of my mates that says, you definitely put the Scot in Scottish. So I was like, oh, too much guilt. Delete the video quickly. I mean, it only garnered something like 200 views. But at the end of the video, I critiqued someone's artwork, and it wasn't fair. It wasn't even in context of the video. I don't know why I done it, to be honest. Probably alcohol. In fact, definitely alcohol. No doubt about it. And I'm very good at critiquing artwork. I can tell you where you're going wrong. I can actually point out errors. It's something that I'm actually very good at, especially in a production environment. But I'm not very good at critiquing my own artwork. It's one of these flaws that I have. So the title of this video is going to be called You're Probably Better Than You Think You Are. Now, I'm on ArtStation here. And when I look at the artwork, I think, phenomenal. Absolutely stunning. And some of these artists are brilliant. I mean, that's a cracking render. In fact, that's a digi-double by the looks of it. Yeah, it is. But there's one thing you've got to take in mind, especially when you go onto a website like ArtStation, is like a lot of these artists have poured their heart and soul into just one piece, and it's maybe took them up to a month just to finish it. Now, there is some artists that can knock an animation out or a render like that out in a day. Don't get me wrong, there's very proficient artists, but just step back a little bit when you see this amazing artwork and think, how long did it take them? Because it might take them a few weeks at least, especially when you're doing things like cloth and things like this, especially when you're working on a big project like Ghost. And so this kind of brings me back around to what I was going to say. Your artwork is probably better than you give it credit for. Now, I've seen a lot of beginners on Blender, and you always get that influx of new users, especially in Blender. And there is artists out there, you can tell, they've only been learning for a week or two. So one thing I'm going to give to new artists or people learning Blender, if you fall off the horse, you need to get back on it as soon as possible. You don't learn this overnight. You really need to put hours upon hours upon hours. It's like being a joiner. You really need to put the time and effort in. You've got to learn the dovetails, you've got to learn how to do biscuit joints, you've got to learn how to do planing and sanding. Sounds stupid, but you do. So any art or any traditional art, you really need to put time and effort in. Don't expect to be as good as some of these guys within the first week. Now, there is always an exception, and some people just pick up like that. Not me, I'm kind of shit, to be honest, but I get by. So I thought I would take a look at a few of my renders and kind of critique them and kind of be a little bit harsh on myself. And let's just go with the first one. So this one was done 4 or 5 years ago, in fact maybe more now, and it was rendered in Lightwave. I think it was Lightwave 15. Doesn't matter, there's plenty of things wrong with it. Now, as a piece, it's pretty nice, it's okay, it's very low poly, so I've got away with modelling high poly stuff. The tree I think a mate gave me, and I kind of just made this stuff up myself. But there's a few errors that I can see here, especially when it comes to like the UVs, like the writing here goes backwards, it's been stretched here. There's a lot of things I could do to improve the scene, especially the focal length or the depth of field. It's a bit, it's not perfect, and the scale on the text is definitely annoying, so that's what I would probably fix. Overall, it's alright. Now, I can't show my commercial stuff because it comes under NDA, mainly because I work with the Ministry of Defence, stuff like that. So let's have a wee look at what else we've got here. So this is a ZBrush sculpt. Now, I'm not the best at sculpting, I can get by, don't get me wrong, and I'm not very happy with it. Now, this was done 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 4, and I'm not entirely happy with the pose. The form is really off, especially around certain areas like here. and especially the shoulders. The shoulders are way above where they should be. Now I can get away with it because it's a cartoon character, but if you're kind of really grilling it, it's not very good. The shape here on the wings could probably do with getting extended. So that's one image. Now this is quite a recent render, and to be honest, it only took me an hour to set up the scene, and I think it's modelled in Blender and rendered in Octane. And if you actually scroll right in, you can see this thumbnails and stuff like this. The composition, I mean, overall, it's a very basic image. You are literally talking an hour to set something like this up, but like the toes don't sit on the scene. That tooth is a different colour. The action here's pretty good, and it's pretty good here. I mean, there is character in it. So yeah, this scene could be improved, especially when you've got this kind of repeating pattern here. And you can tell that I've just mirrored the leg, so that's one thing. Let's take a quick look at another image. Now this one's years old, and pretty much why I'm going to pick on it. And this is before instancing became a kind of part of most 3D applications. Now this is instance grass. It's on a pug, obviously. The asset's a download, it's not mine. But there's a lot of things that I pick up in here, especially in terms of the grass. It could be better. It's meant to be rusty, but you can see that the tyre texture's pretty clean. It's pretty reflective, and the glass here is far too clean. I mean, if there would be smash and cracks and even just general dust. So I would like to kind of remake this scene and make it a little bit better. There's a lot of kind of repetitive, let's put it this way, and this is Ivy Gen, and to be honest, I'm not happy with that. So that scene could definitely be improved, especially now with the technology. Let me check something out like this. Now sometimes I need to do hard surface modelling, and because I do a lot of CAD rendering, and a client says, do you do product shots? And you're like, he can't show you, but yeah, I do. So I modelled something like this, and the final render's actually quite nice. It's quite hard to cherry pick that, to be honest. That piece is actually alright. I think the topology over here was a bit janky, but no, it's actually quite good. Oh, here, there's one thing I would pick up on. There's a bit of AA because there's not enough displacement in terms of the mesh. So that's probably one thing that I would fix. And let's just quickly do another character one. Why not? And this is my kind of Worms tribute. I do love playing Worms. Cracking game. The action's pretty good in terms of the character. The pose is fine. Materials are a bit glossy, especially around here. The tree, I think that was an asset, I can't remember. It's meant to be on a kind of world where there's, if you've ever played Worms, you're kind of on islands at a certain stage. But yeah, overall the piece is not too bad. It could probably be improved in terms of, I think shading would be a bit better. It's alright, it's not the best, to be honest. But anyway, so I thought, if you're going to criticise people, you might as well make it yourself. So anyway, back on point. You're probably better than you think you are. Just keep trying. Just keep putting the time and effort in as much as possible. Now, a lot of new artists, they think, I'm going to be a superstar, and they think, I'm going to get a job by the end of it. Put that out of your head straight away. Just get that idea to fuck. You won't. You just won't. There's too much. The market is so saturated, it's unbelievable. Now, if you want to be phenomenal and you want to get your name known, I don't have any advice for that, to be honest. Just keep working hard. Anyway, do me a favour, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter, support me, download. You know what to do. Take care.